and honest. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. Yeah, I worship you, Lord. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. Never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. Never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 You are. That is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are. Amen. song leader, I get a lot of time with the mic, and I don't like to preach very much. I like to sing my worship to God. But this song, Reckless Love, it always speaks to me. So it needs something to go with it more than just a song. Talks about that we are all 100 sheep, and there are times when there's a sheep that needs special attention. And right now, there are sheep on earth and in the human race that need special attention. Whether you think they deserve it or not, God thinks they deserve it. Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You've been so, so, so kind to me. Overwhelming. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I found, leaves the 99. I couldn't turn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. How is your foe, still your love fought for me. You've been so, so good to me. I love no worth, but you paid it all for me. You've been so, so kind to me. Holy, overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. It's true. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me one more time. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. All the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I found, leaves the 99. I could turn it, I don't deserve it. Still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Amen. This is a beautiful name. Darlene has been practicing this.
Oh, no.
You sound awesome. You were the word before the beginning, one with God, the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed to you are Christ. What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. In the name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a beautiful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus. You are heaven without us. Jesus, you brought heaven down. My sin was great, your love was greater. What could separate us now? What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name it is. In the name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus. The heavens are roaring, the praise of your glory. Oh, you are raised to life again. You have no rival, you have no equal. Now and forever, God, you reign. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the name above all names. Powerful name it is, what a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a powerful name it is. Nothing can stand against. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. You have no rival. You have no equal. Now and forever, God, you reign. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the name above all names. You have no rival, you have no equal. Now and forever, God, you reign. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the name above all names. You have no rival, you have no equal. Now and forever, God, you reign. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the name above all names. What a powerful name it is. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a powerful name it is. Nothing can stand against. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. I see the King of glory coming down the clouds with fire. The whole earth shakes, the whole earth shakes. I see His love and mercy washing over our sins. The people sing, ready not to take their place. Feeling space, selfless space. I see a near revival, stirring as we pray and see. We're on our knees, we're on our knees. Heal my heart, make it clean. Open up my eyes to the things unseen. Show me how to love like you have loved me. Break my heart for what breaks yours. Everything I am for your kingdom high. 'Cause I walk from the earth to eternity. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna in the highest. Lord, we sing Hosanna to you. You are the highest. Your name is above all names. You alone are worthy to be praised. We love that you are here with us now as we sing, as we study your word. Continue to overflow the Holy Spirit within all of us, Lord, to the people around us, even when we're 6 or 15 feet apart. We know that your Holy Spirit knows no bounds. You are everywhere and inside of us. So thank you. Be with us during this time, Lord. And all of us said, Amen. Amen. All right, Tom's up. Hey, Tom. So I'm going to give you the other mic. You want a hand mic?
Yeah, I go up.
Let's put that.
Just unplug anyway. Thank you, sir. Oh, we're on? We're in business. Morning. So, I had an interesting week.
Turn this off.
Yeah, maybe.
We're good.
Okay, we're good. Oh, yeah, I'll set it back down. I guess it started out as a normal week, Monday. Right up until the radiator hose popped off my truck and all the water ran out. Yeah, I wasn't very happy. I was in West Salem and actually drove the thing for like 8 miles before I realized it was my truck that had made the puddle. And so, long story short, my bottom radiator hose popped off, all the water ran away, and I was stranded in West Salem. So you guys know Jess, and I called Jess, and she said, well, I get off work in 15 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to ride to Advanced Auto Parts because I didn't think anybody with a car would throw me in and push me over the bridge. So, it's a good cause. So she came over. I thought it'd be an easy fix, just get some antifreeze, pop the hose back on, good to go. Not so much. I wasn't surprised by that, but so then I'm thinking, I need a car. I need somebody with a car, and I need a mechanic. So I called Dave and Deborah. They have a car, and he's a mechanic. Win-win. So they came over, and with a radiator hose, he just stopped and got one on his way. And so Deborah's like, "Hey, thanks for calling us." And she's super excited. Dave was excited because it was something to do, right?
Oh my goodness.
And so I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I didn't, no. She's like, "You're not getting it." I'm like, "Wait, what am I not getting? I guess I'm not getting it." She goes, "No, you called us, right?" And she was like, "Thank you for calling us." I'm like, "Well, thank you for coming." It was a win-win. I needed a ride and a mechanic, and both of you are here, so. So we get the lower radiator hose put on, we put the fluid in it, start the truck, and Dave's quiet, right? He's a thinker, and he's looking at the truck, and he's walking back to his car, and he comes back to the truck, and he takes his flashlight, and I'm like, "Can we just go now and, be done?" I said, "What's going on?" He says, "When do you want to change the water pump?" I'm like, 12th and never? He's like, "No, it's weeping. We gotta, this needs to be dealt with too." All right, so it's holding water. He's like, "Just drive straight home, run your heater, blah, 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 get there. I'll follow you out. Make sure you make it safe." And I was like, "Okay." And so luckily the truck does fine, gets me home. And we get there, and he starts showing me where the water pump's leaking, and it was pretty good leak. And I was just more like, "Okay, what's next?" Right? I should know better than to ask what's next. Dave says, "We'll be out tomorrow. We'll get the water pump and put it on." And so they leave, and I'm blown away, right? Because I don't have the money for a water pump. He's like, "Don't worry about it." Okay. Awesome, and thank you. And, I'm telling him, "You don't need to do that. We'll figure it out." And he's like, "We want to do that, and just shut up about it, and we'll see you tomorrow." So he comes out Tuesday. Nice day. Too hot, actually, but he starts taking the motor apart, gets the water pump off, puts a new one on. We start filling it with fluid. I'm like, "Cool, this is going really smooth," right? Because normally I'd be throwing tools and ripping my head off, stabbing my truck with a screwdriver. That's why I'm not a mechanic. So I'm like, "This is a win-win, we're going to roll." And he says, "Start the truck." So I start the truck, and I'm sitting there, and I feel the truck shudder, and then I hear a loud ticking. And I reach over and I shut it off, and I was like, "Yeah, please don't be a lifter." And Dave's looking at me, and he's looking at it. And I said, "Is it not a lifter?" It's the only thing that makes that noise in the world is a lifter. So I'm like, "Yeah, it's a lifter." Now, at this point, I'm like, they say things happen in threes, right? I think I'm on 5 or 6. Not really sure, but it's taking some days now, So he goes, "What are your options?" Well, that's easy. Just drive it till it goes. I mean, it is what it is. And so he's like, "Yeah, it's not really a viable option." I'm like, "Bro, it's the only option I have. Right? I'm not going to stop driving it. I mean, you know where I live. I'm not walking." And so I just, we let it sit for a little bit, and I told him we can get together later and we'll figure something out, and pretty much left it at that. About 2 hours later, I start the truck. I'm going to go into Jefferson, and the tick is there, but not quite as bad. And I was like, "Well, here we go," So it gets down the hill, put it in park, and the tick comes back pretty good. And I thought, well, it didn't blow up, so that's a plus. Now I have to go up the hill, see how that goes. And the whole time I'm thinking, when it started to tick, my mind heard Paul Milton. Not Paul Milton. Okay, so I ignored it. Next day I wake up, he's working on the truck, call Milton. I can call Milton. This is all internal, it's this thing like, I don't want to bother him. I didn't know how to start a conversation because I didn't even call Milton. What are we going to talk about? Right? The weather? And so, what day did you guys move the printer? Tuesday?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay. So, Thursday, I see Milton. He was here to help move the printer. And I thought, well, maybe I can talk to him now. But there were people milling around, and that's not really a conversation you wanted to have with people around. So, anyway, so I took off and I delivered 2 or 3 bags of food, whatever. And I came back and I parked in the shade on the side of the building. My phone rings and it's Milton. He says, hey, are you coming back to the church? Yep, I'm outside right now. So he comes over and I'm like, hey, how are you? Good. He says, remember last week when you were out at my house and you noticed my neighbor's motor coach? It's a friggin' bus. It's beautiful, It's just huge. Anyways. I said, yeah, I remember that. And he says, do you remember my white car sitting in my driveway? Yeah. He says, now, do you remember the black car sitting next to the white car in my driveway? I said, no, you took me to the Batcave. Milton has Batcave. He calls it his office. It has a secret entrance and 2 exits. Okay, one's a garage door going out the side, but, anyway. The whole time I'm hearing, the Batman theme in my head. And I'm like, so we go into his office, and I was just like, whoa. Because you got to go in, and you got drunk to the side, and then you sit down, you're in, pretty cool. I was hearing, okay, so
Yes, the old version.
yeah, so I didn't catch the car in the driveway, right? That's where my mind was. I'm hearing, pow, crack. I said, so there's the car in your driveway. And he says, yeah, I'm not interested. It served its purpose. Why don't you just come out to the house and get it? And I said, what? He said, yeah, just come out tonight. Come with me. Get the car. Now, Milton, like, he's serious. I started getting a little overwhelmed, and I still had food to deliver. So I said, okay. I said, I'm going to take this to, over on D Street or whatever. And he said, okay, I'll meet you back here. So I drive over there. The whole time I'm weeping, like, it wasn't massive sobbing, but it was overwhelming, So that's how God works. When Deb found out that my engine was hurt, she put her hands right on the grill and she was like, all right, God, listen, I'm like, you don't tell him what to do. What are you doing? Right? She's like, no, this needs to be handled. Right? If you know her, a little firecracker, right? And so I thought, man, she said that prayer and it's been answered. And I believe in that. I believe wholeheartedly that she prayed and it worked itself out. I've seen it. I've seen it a handful of times, and I'm convinced that there are certain people that have direct speed dial or a portal, or a doorbell that gets his attention immediately. And prayer is powerful, and that's kind of part of what I wanted to talk about is Deborah's one of those people, man. She talks to God all day, And so it's like Eva Hutton, when she speaks, he listens. She don't tell him what to do. I was like, what are you doing? Nope, this needs to be handled right now. I look at David, he's like, don't look at me. Bow our heads and pray because we were terrified at that point. So she puts her hand on my truck, says a quick prayer. All right, it's done, handled. Okay, thank you. And this is all going through my head as I'm driving over, to D Street. And these things they just don't happen, And it's overwhelming to realize, hey, She said a prayer. Milton and Melissa answered that prayer. So I go with Milton. I tell Karen, I said, hey, I've been kidnapped. I'll be home later. I said, but I have a big surprise for you. She says, okay. So when me and Milton get together, man, it's we need to start like 3 in the afternoon and make it home by midnight. So we don't land at his house till 10:15, 10:30. I'm telling Karen, yeah, I'm going to Woodburn now. I'll be right, I'm on my way. So then we go through the car and, I said, listen, I'm coming home and I got a big surprise for you. So I get home at like 1:30. Well, I had to drive the car. I had to check it, like stop 7-Eleven, look at it in the light, take a picture of it, Realize there's no cup holders. And if you guys see my drinks, they're big. And I was like, well, that's a dilemma. So I had to pound half of that before I left, But that was great because I had a conversation with the Gypsy Joker up there. It was a nice night for a ride, and the whole thing. So I get home like 1:30, and she says, where's my surprise? And I stopped and went, oh. I said, man, I forgot it. She was like, you what? Yeah, I said, look, you married me. You gave me that surprise. So, You know me. She's like, I'm going outside. We go outside, smoke a cigarette, and I said, hey, since you're mad, why don't you just go out to the truck and help me clear your stuff out of it? I said, fine. We go out to the truck. She hits that gate, and she gets about 2 steps up, and it's like 1:30 in the morning, so we have headlamps on, right? And her headlamp hits the car. And she stops like mid-step, She goes, what? I said, what? She goes, really? And I said, really? Nuh-uh. I said, really? I said, about nuh-uh and really myself the whole night, I was like, oh yeah, surprise. And she goes, really? And I said, yeah, really. And then she got weepy. I'm like, well, here we go. She goes, nuh-uh. And she sits down and she goes, really? I said, yeah, Karen, wrap your head around it. It's hard to do. I said, this is what we've been doing all night long. I said, are you surprised? Like, this is incredible. 5 years ago, this wouldn't happen, 5 years ago, if my water pump would have went out, I would just beat the truck with a sledgehammer. Beat it into submission and then had to make a phone call for somebody to come, fix it. And I realized that actually when I was sitting in West Salem, calm. Like, okay, this kind of sucks, but it's not terrible. I had company, Jess was there, and I always make her laugh, so that was good. And I wasn't stuck in a grocery cart getting pushed over the bridge, so that was good. And, I was kind of taking it in stride. And Dave and Deborah show up, and they got the dog Bobo. He likes me, he's a buddy of mine, so, it's not too terrible. Until he says, well, this is radiator hose is shot. So, but I brought one with me. And I just sat there for just a second and was like, man, this is incredible, right? It's about building a relationship, spending time with people, whether, time in need or just a hey, hello, Dave and Deborah and I stood in Walmart's parking lot on Turner Road for like 90 minutes one day, maybe 2 hours. We had church, And I told her, I'm like, man, this is going to stick with me for a minute, And so that was the beginning of a relationship. And the interactions have gone, it's organic, But when she said, well, you called us, you're not getting it. I wasn't. And Milton and I were talking, and he says, Tom, if you stop and think about it, think about the relationships at that truck, right? The truck, a broken truck at that, strengthened the relationship. And it was, man, we were hanging out together, sweating. I was like, man, aren't you miserable? I'm not even throwing wrenches. And so, that day, other barriers were broke down with some people, and it was just a good day. It was really a good day, and I didn't think about the significance of that, the ripple effect of the broken truck. Uh, relationships are what we're trying to do it inside out, and they're not easy. Some of the relationships, like anything, they take work. Unfortunately for me, Dave, there is no work. I mean, it's just he's working. I'm just making silly comments like I do. Like, hey, are you turning that the right way? He just looks up at me. I'm like, do you throw your wrenches? He said, no. I said, okay, I'll stand here then. I tell people, don't stand, you got to go up that way. Because I throw things. Yeah, behind me 20 feet, that's probably the safest place. I fish that way too, that's dangerous.
Another
So,
60 feet.
Milton and I are talking, and he's like, yeah, just think about the relationship, right? And the relationship that Karen and I have with Milton and Melissa, it's a blessing. Jerry likes to say he's blessed and highly favored. And you are handsome. You are blessed and highly favored. But we have to, and in all the chaos that's going on in the world, even here in Salem, the beer flu, right, the angry bees, the rioters, God still heard a prayer. God still made it happen. That's why he's God. I was talking with Dale, and Milton says, it's a car, it served its purpose. Man, my daughter drove it, my son drove it. Jess told me she borrowed it, at one point in time. But it was God working through them, still overwhelming. I told my mom, I called her in Ohio, I said, hey, guess what I'm driving? She said, your truck. I said, no. I said, I'm driving a Volvo. She said, what? She said, like a Volvo? I said, yeah, Mom, like a Volvo, She goes, Tommy, that's a foreign car. Yeah, Mom, it is, right? But check it out, the engine doesn't tick. The groceries will stay dry, and I still do what I've been doing, and that serving God and the people and doing his work, And my mom's like, it's a Volvo? Yeah, Mom. I'll send it to you in a text if she got a flip phone. But anyways, Mom, if you're watching, I'm just kidding. She's like, that's a foreign car. Yeah, pretty much. I said, yeah, Mom, there's more buttons on this dashboard than I don't even know what to do with. So, I stop at a red light and I just start pushing things. Guy behind me honks, well, I'm not on my phone, give me a break. I don't know, my hazards are going, my lights are blinking, whatever. I'm just, okay. Windows are going up and down, hey, they go up and down, right? I'm having, what you do, right? That's what I do anyway, so, I'm driving on the road and the groceries are dry. I'm like, wow. I pulled up my buddy Chris, I was like, hey, he goes, is that you? I said, yeah. Are you in a Volvo? Yeah, I did, I'm in a Volvo. I was waiting for him to say, is that a foreign car? But, And so, being able to do this service that we've been doing during this whole quarantine thing and the significance that plays in their lives was very important to me. And I just told her, I'll drive my truck till it blows up. I was talking to Doug out in the parking lot. He said, well, it's going to leave you stranded. Like, yeah, it won't be the first time, evidently. So I said, well, no options. No. I mean, just it is what it is, right? Because you can drive for a year that way. So I just figured it is what it is, And but that truck has a history too. I don't know if you guys know the history of that truck. It's pretty amazing. If that truck could talk, it has serious testimony. Dale calls it God's truck. And I said, why don't jinx me like that? Why would you do that? So years ago, the gentleman who owned that truck was unemployed, out of work, running out of money. Got a job offer, but he had to travel. The truck had no fuel in it. Fuel lights was on. That's like, what, 2 miles? He drove the truck for 2 weeks with the gas light on, back and forth, every day, back and forth, back and forth, until he got paid. Of course, then he put gas in the truck. Then he drove the truck for a while longer. I guess he ended up getting hired on full time. Things rolled. Fast forward, he gives that truck to Rocky. Rocky drives that truck till he gets his VA thing figured out. He says, man, he tells me and Karen, he says, look, when you guys pay all your fines and fees, this truck will be parked out at Dale's. It's yours. Come and get it. So, $14,000 later, I went out to Scotts Mills to pick up my free pickup. And the only thing I did initially was put an alternator in it and a brand new tire. Change the oil, change the transmission fluid. Drove it, and that truck has helped a lot of people. It's given me the ability to help a lot of people. And so, to have it injured, felt like I broke my dog's leg. I was like, oh man, But it's good to know that God, I guess, is aware of what we're doing. We can keep moving forward, doing His work, building relationships, praying, and due to generosity and the people that God has put in my life, our life, my parents, inside out, it's truly family. And I'm gonna stop now before I cry. So thank you, Milton and Melissa, for everything. Dave and Debbie, if you're watching, thank you for everything. We just keep doing what we're doing. It was impactful. It was a crazy week for me. Somebody asked me yesterday, how was your week? And I was like, give me a minute, Let me put things in, chronological order. But anyways, that's what I wanted to share today. I was thumbing through the Bible last night, and I was like, oh, I gotta find a good Paul story. Everybody knows Paul's story. I like telling Paul's story, but so nothing was jumping out. And then as I closed the Bible, it was think about your week. And I thought about my week and was like, well, all right, we'll go there, So, anyways, that was my week, and we made it through another one. Hopefully, we can gather here without the mask and without the apprehension of one another, people. I look forward to that day. Hey, Ted, did anybody make the ice cream announcement?
Right now.
All right. Anyway.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome. Thank you. Oh,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Oh, Mike. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you. Because of Mike, we all get to have ice cream.
Diabetic first. Nice. Happy birthday, Mike.
Thanks for getting a year old.
Yeah.
Happy to read that one. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
You live in a zoo. You look like a monkey and smell like one too, or something like that, right?
I like the fast food.
Feel Jesus near every day of the year. A happy birthday to you. A happy birthday to you. God bless you throughout the year.
Oh, wait. How about this? Happy. just slipped a hip.
Then there's the morbid.
Going out now.
No, happy birthday, still more.
No, there's another one that might.
It's even worse.
But,
Yeah.
you're
Dead.
deteriorating and dying.
Happy birthday.
Valiant, do you know who Trevor Noah is?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have you ever heard his bit on that before?
I love it. I love it. I love Trevor Noah. I love that. In South Africa, like, happy birthday. Happy birthday. I'm like, what?
He always has his birthday song
It was,
at the drum circle.
happy birthday. Happy birthday.